And hello again from Shake Scene Shakespeare. Thank you very much for joining us again on this hot and sunny, well, at least it is in London, Sunday afternoon. It's actually very hot in London today, so this is going to be quite an intense measure for those of us down here. We hope that wherever you are well and safe and happy and enjoying life and possibly coming a little bit out of lockdown. We're going to stay here with you every Sunday afternoon, bringing as much fun and joy and entertainment and craziness as we can for as long as it is required by lockdown. And basically, because we now really like doing this, this is good fun. We'll be here. You can be able to find us. So, um, it's a bit of an exciting day for us today. I know we've been doing this for a couple of months, but as I was just saying to the company in our little quiet chat we have in the wings, as it were, this is an adventure for us today because this is the first time we have performed Measure for Measure anywhere. All the other scripts that we've done before for you have been performed on stage somewhere. This is the first adaptation that I've done as part of lockdown entertainment. So there are all sorts of things that can, might, possibly will happen. It's a great adventure for us. Thank you for joining us and taking the adventure as well. So I briefly want to introduce the cast for today. Then I will send them off to our virtual tiring house to have a deep breath and a quick gin and be ready to come on and entertain with you. So today we have got Matt Williams, we have Eugenia Lowe, we have Alexandra Kataigida, we have Bridget Randolph joining us from all the way over from America. We have Larissa Oates, we have Geraldine Brennan, we have Simon Balkan, who's just moved house, and congratulations, has got his internet up and running. So yay, Simon, very glad to have you with us today. We've got Valentina Vinci, who is, as usual, holding us together also technically. Thank you, Valentina. We have Georgia Andrews. We have Siegfried Love Walker, who is still over there in Paris. We love get to play with you still, Siegfried. We've got Linda, and we've got Jeffrey, and we've got Dewi Hughes, who's hiding in the bedroom in my flat because we're still in lockdown together. And we have Claire Richardson, give us a wave, Claire. And we have the adorable Susie, who is still with us and bringing us the benefit of her wonderful musical skills. We are so very, very lucky. Because there is music in Measure for Measure. It's going to be fun. Okay, guys, you go chill. I'm going to do a quick intro, and then we're going to get on with this play. So, for those of you who haven't watched us before, and apologies if you have, because you've heard me say this before, my name's Lizzie. I am the artistic director for Shake Scene Shakespeare. We are currently the only UK-based acting company who are teaching and performing using what are known as cue scripts. This means we work from a parts-based system. So every script that we work from, the guys that you are going to see performing for you today, they're going to be reading, but they're going to be reading just their part. They have not had access to the entire script. All that they know is the brief couple of words before they speak and then their lines. They don't even know who is going to be cueing them. They don't know who is in their scenes because that is how plays were in fact staged back in Shakespeare's time when these plays were brand new. So as a process of developing this this particular script, we have had a couple of online tavern readings, which means a different collection of actors from the company have met of an evening, and we've read through the script together to make sure that the parts work. So things should be okay. But that's it. Nobody who is reading today has previously met the entirety of the part that they are going to be performing for you. If that sounds a wee bit complicated, then please do drop me a line. I'll be very happy to explain it properly. Right, so what have we done? We've done, yes, everything's up for grabs. So we're going to be encountering stuff for the first time exactly the same way that you are. We're going to meet each other's characters. Nobody out there knows if there's going to be a repeated cue, that little extra jeopardy that we have to go through in this game. So listen out for them, because sometimes they're deliberate. It's not always the internet. As usual, on our YouTube feed, you will see, if you're watching us on YouTube, that there is our, if you can, please put some money in our little virtual bucket. We are extremely happy to do this. We're not asking for money. If you would like to give us some money, then that would be very well received. Our little pot of money is being kept currently to share with any of our members that are in particular financial hardship, because with all the best will in the world, and the government is doing its best, and it's supporting a lot of people, for which we're very grateful. There are a lot of people still in the creative industries who are not able to be furloughed and don't qualify for various of the benefits that are offered. So our little pot of money goes to them. So if you are able to, we are very grateful to receive it. And if not, then please join us and have a wonderful time anyway. So we're going to do Measure for Measure now, which means I am going to basically shut up and vanish. I will pop back up at the interval. We're just going to have a quick 5-minute interval about halfway through to give everybody a bit of a breather. My job, because I'm the book holder for the company, I'm not necessarily going to be feeding people lines, which is usually my job when we perform in the theatre, but you will hear from me if there is a problem with someone's microphone feed, or their camera dies, or the internet louses up completely. I will pop up and I will feed a line in. That is my job. I hold things together. So we are going to go to Shakespeare's city of Vienna now. Now, don't let the geography of it bother you, because it's kind of a made-up version of Vienna anyway. Shakespeare and geography have a very kind of loose relationship. And we're going to a city that it is quite a sort of dark and troubled time, because law has kind of slipped in Vienna. The Duke, who is the leader of the city and the chief of lawmakers, it's as if things have kind of slipped a little under his rule. And he has a plan for bringing things back together and sorting out some of the lawless behavior that has been going on. So basically, let's see how his plan works out. So to actors, those of you that can hear me, which is hopefully all of you, I will vanish. I will call scene 1. When you see my camera cut off, that is your cue to enter. Any problems, please let me know. Okay, I'm going to assume you're all fine. So here we go. Act 1, scene 1, first ever performance of Measure for Measure. Engage.
Aeschylus!
My lord?
There is our commission, from which we would not have you walk. Call hither, I say, bid come before us. Angelo, what figure of us think you he will bear?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honour, it is Lord Angelo.
Look where he comes.
Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, there is a kind of character in thy life that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, but I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise. Hold, therefore, Angelo, in our remove, be thou at full ourself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with a leavened and prepared choice proceeded to you, therefore take your honours. We shall write to you as time in our concerning shall import you, how it goes with us, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So fare you well.
Yet give me leave, my lord, that we may bring you somewhere on the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor need you, on mine honour, have to do with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the laws as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily away. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place, a power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
So with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honour.
What with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am custom shrunk. How now? What's the news with you?
You have not heard of the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, ma'am?
All houses of resort in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in the city?
They had gone down too, but that a wise citizen put in a word.
But shall all our houses of resource in the suburbs be pulled down?
To the ground, mistress.
Well, it is a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me?
Come, fear not you. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still.
What's to do here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Oh, here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost to prison.
Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so.
Claudio, enter.
Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offence by weight the words of heaven. On whom it will, on whom it will not. So, yet still 'tis just.
Why, how now, Claudio? Whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, my Lucio.
I had as lief have the foppery of freedom as the mortality of imprisonment. What's thy offence, Claudio?
What but to speak of would offend again?
What, is murder?
No!
Lechery?
Call it so.
Away, sir, you must go.
One word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you.
100, if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Julietta's bed. You know the lady, she's fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation lack of outward order. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps.
Unhappily even so. And the new deputy, for now the Duke, awakes me all in the enrolled penalties which have, like unscarred armor, hung by the walls so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round and none of them been worn. And for a name, now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name.
I warrant it is. When thy head stands so tickle on my shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him.
I've done so, but he's nowhere to be found. I prithee, Lucia, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation, acquaint her with the danger of my state, implore her, in my voice, that she make friends to the strict deputy, bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect, such as move men. Besides, she has prosperous art when she play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may. I'll to her.
I thank you, good friend Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer. Away.
No, Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why, I desire thee to give me secret harbour hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it.
My holy sir, none better knows than you how I have ever loved the life removed. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me travel to Poland, for so I have strewed it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sir, you will demand of me why I do this.
Gladly, my lord.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws, the needful bits and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for these 14 years we have let slip, even like an o'ergrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch, only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not to use, in time the rod's more mocked than feared. So our decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead. And liberty plucks justice by the nose. The baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
Rest is in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. Since it was my fault to give the people scope, 'twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home, and yet my nature never in the sight to do in slander. And to behold his sway, I will, as 'twere a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with a habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear like a true friar. More reasons for this action at our more leisure shall I render you. Only this one, Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence shall we see the power change purpose, what our seamers be.
And have you nuns no farther privileges?
Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votaries of St. Clair.
Oh, peace be in this place.
Is that which calls?
It is a man's voice. Gentle Isabella, turn you the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then if you speak, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak.
Then
he calls again. I pray you, answer him.
Peace and prosperity. Who is that calls?
Hail, Virgin! If you be, as those cheek roses proclaim, you are no less. Can you so stead me as bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place, and the fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why her unhappy brother? Let me ask, for the rather, for I now must make you know I am that Isabella and his sister.
Gentle and fair. Your brother kindly greets you, not to be weary with prison.
Whoa, me, for what?
For that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in thanks. He hath got his friend with child.
So make me not your story.
'Tis, I would not, though 'tis my familiar sin, with me to seem the lapwing, and to jest, tongue far from heart, play with all virgins so. I hold you as a thing safe by your renouncement, an immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity as a saint.
You do blaspheme the good in mocking me.
Do not believe it. Fewness and truth, 'tis not. Your brother and his lover have embraced, as those that feed grow full, as blossoming time that from the seedness the bare fallow brings to teeming foison, even so her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilt and husbandry.
Someone with child by him? My cousin Juliet?
Is she your cousin?
Adoptedly, as schoolmates change their names, my vain, though apt affection.
She it is.
Oh, well, let him marry her.
This is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence. Upon his place, and with full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, and whose blood is very snow broth, one who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense. He, to give fear to use and liberty, which have for long run by the hideous law as by lions, hath picked out an act under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls into forfeit. All hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften. And that's my bit of business.
Twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has censured him already, and as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good.
Essay the power you have.
My power? Alas, I doubt.
Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know when maidens sue, men give like gods.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight.
Must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape till custom make it their perch, and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us be keen, and rather cut a little than fall, and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman, whom I would save, had a most noble father. Let but your honour know, whom I believe to be most straight in virtue, whether you had not sometime in your life erred in this point, which now you censure him, and pulled the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may, in the sworn 12, have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. What knows the law that thieves do pass on thieves? 'Tis very pregnant, the jewel that we find, we stoop and take it because we see it, but what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offence, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I that censure him do so offend. Mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Sir, he must die.
Be it as your wisdom will.
Where is the provost?
Here, if you'd like, your honour.
See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him, and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Mark.
Come, bring them away. If these be good people in a commonweal that do nothing but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law. Bring them away.
How now, sir? What's your name and what's the matter?
If it please your honour, I am the poor Duke's constable, and my name is Elbow. I do lean upon justice, sir. and who bring in here before your good honour 2 notorious benefactors.
Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors?
If it please your honour, I know not well what they are, but precise villains they are, that I am sure of.
This comes off well. Here's a wise officer.
Go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name? Why dost thou not speak, Elbow?
He cannot, sir. He's out at elbow.
What are you, sir?
He, sir, a tapster, sir, also a pimp. One that serves a bad woman, whose house, sir, as they say, plucked down in the suburbs, and now she professes a house in the city, which I think is a very ill house too.
How know you that?
My wife, sir, whom I detest before heaven and your honour.
How? Thy wife?
Aye, sir, whom I thank heaven is an honest woman.
Dost thou detest her, therefore?
I say, sir, I will detest myself also, that this house, if it be not a pimp's house, it is pity of her life, for it is a naughty house.
How dost thou know that, constable?
Marry, sir, by my wife, who, if she had been a woman cardinally given, might have been accused in fornication, adultery, and uncleanliness there.
By the woman's means?
Aye, sir, by Mistress Overdone's means.
Sir, if it please your honour, this is not so.
Prove it before these varlets here, thou honourable man. Prove it.
Do thou hear how he misplaces?
Sir, she came in great with child and longing, save your honour's reverence, for stewed prawns, sir. We had but 2 in the ass, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish, a dish of some 3_pence. Your honours have seen such dishes. They are not china dishes, but very good dishes.
Go to, no matter for the dish, sir.
No, indeed, sir. Not of a pin, you are therein in the right, but to the point. As I say, this Mistress Elbow, being, as I say, with child, and being great bellied, and longing, as I said, for prawns, and having but 2 in the ass, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man, having eaten the rest, as I said, and as I say, paying for them very honestly, for, as you know, Master Froth, I could not give you 3_pence again.
No, indeed.
Very well. You being then, if you be remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prawns.
All this is true.
Come, you are a tedious fool. To the purpose. And what was done to Elbow's wife, that he hath cause to complain of?
Sir, but you shall come to it by your honour's leave. And I beseech you, look into Master Froth here, sir, a man of £80 a year, whose father died at Hallowmas. Was not at Hallowmas, Master Froth.
All Hallowed Eve.
Very well, and I hope here be truths. He, sir, sitting, as I say, in a lower chair. Oh, sir, 'twas in the bunch of grapes, where indeed you have a delight to sit, have you not?
I have so, sir, because it is an open room and good for winter.
Last out a night in Russia when nights are longest there. I'll take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all.
I think no less. Now, sir, come on. What was done to Elbow's wife once more?
Once, sir. Oh, there was nothing done to her once.
I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife.
I beseech your honour, ask me.
Well, sir, what did this gentleman to her?
I beseech you, sir, look in this gentleman's face. Good Master Froth, look upon his honour. 'Tis for a good purpose. Now, doth your honour mark his face?
Aye, sir, very well.
Nay, I beseech you, mark it well.
Well, I do so.
Doth your honour see any harm in his face?
Why, no.
I'll be supposed upon a book. His face is the worst thing about him. Good then, if his face be the worst thing about him, how could Master Froth do the constable's wife any harm? I would know that of your honour.
He's in the right. Constable, what say you to it?
First, and it like you, the house is a respected house. Next, this is a respected fellow, and his mistress is a respected woman.
By this hand, sir, his wife is a more respected person than any of us all. Sir, she was respected with him before he married with her.
Which is the wiser here? Justice or iniquity? Is this true?
Oh, thou caitiff! Oh, thou varlet! Oh, thou wicked Hannibal! I respected with her before I was married to her. If ever I was respected with her, or she with me, let not your worship think me the poor Duke's officer. Prove this, thou wicked Hannibal, or I'll have mine action of battery on thee.
If he took you a box of the ear, you might have your action of slander too.
Marry, I thank your good worship for it. What is your worship's pleasure I shall do with this wicked caitiff?
Truly, officer, because he hath some offences in him that thou wouldst discover if thou couldst, let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are.
Marry, I thank your worship for it. Thou seest this wicked varlet now, what's come upon thee? Thou art to continue now, thou varlet, thou art to continue.
Where were you born, friend?
Here in Vienna, sir.
Are you a 80 pounds a year?
Yes, and please you, sir.
And so, what trade are you of, sir?
Oh, a tapster, a poor widow's tapster.
Your mistress's name?
Mistress Overton?
Had she had any more than one husband?
9, sir. Overton by the last.
9? Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you, Master Froth.
I thank your worship. For my own part, I never came into any room in a tap house, but I am drawn in.
Well, no more of it, Master Froth. Farewell, Master Tapster. What's your name, Mr. Tapster?
Pompey.
What else?
Bum, sir.
Pompey. You are partly a pimp, Pompey. Howsoever you colour it in, being a tapster, are you not? Come, tell me true. It shall be the better.
Truly, sir, I'm a poor fellow that would live.
How would you live, Pompey? By being a pimp? What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade?
Or if the law would allow it, sir.
But the law will not allow it, Pompey, nor shall it be allowed in Vienna.
What, does your worship mean to geld and splay all the youth of the city?
No, Pompey.
Well, truly, sir, if your worship will take order for the girls and the boys, you need not to fear the pimps.
There is pretty orders beginning, I can tell you, but it is heading and hanging.
Well, if you head and hang all that offend that way, but for 10 years together, you'll be glad to give out of me for more heads. And if you live to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so.
Thank you, good Pompey. And in requital of your prophecy, hark you. I advise you, let me not find you before me again upon any complaint whatsoever. In plain dealing, Pompey, I shall have you whipped So for this time, Pompey, fare you well.
Oh, thank you, Warner, for your good counsel. Whip me? No, let Cadman whip his jade. The valiant art's not whipped out of his trade.
Master Elbow, how long have you been in this place of constable?
7 years and a half, sir.
You say 7 years together?
And a half, sir.
Alas, it hath been great pains to you. They do you wrong to put you so oft upon. Are there not men in your parish sufficient to serve it?
Faith, sir, a few of any wit in such matters.
Look you, bring me in the names of some 6 or 7 of the most sufficient of your parish.
To your worship's house, sir?
To my house. Fare you well. What o'clock, think you?
11, sir.
I pray you home to dinner with me.
I humbly thank you.
It grieves me for the death of Claudio, but there's no remedy.
Lord Angelo is severe.
It is but needful. Mercy is not itself that oft looks so. Pardon is still the nurse of second woe. But yet, poor Claudio, there is no remedy. Come, sir.
He's hearing of a cause.
He's hearing of a cause. He will come straight. I'll tell him of you.
Pray you do. I'll know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent. Alas, all sects, all ages smack of this vice, and he to die for it?
Now, Provost. Now, what's the matter, Provost?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did I not tell thee, yea, hadst thou not order? Why dost thou ask again?
Lest I might be too rash, under your good correction, I have seen when after execution judgment hath repented all his doom.
Go to, let that be mine. Do you your office, or give up your place, and you shall be well spared.
I crave your honour's pardon. What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed.
Here is the sister of the man condemned, desires access to you.
Hath you, sister?
Aye, my good lord, a very virtuous maid, and to be shortly of a sisterhood, if not already.
Well, let her be admitted.
Save your honour.
See you, the fornicatress, be removed. Let her have needful, but not lavish, means. There shall be order for it. Yeah, stay a little while. You're welcome. What's your will?
I am a woeful suitor to your honour. Please, but your honour hear me?
Oh, what's your suit?
I have a brother, is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault, and not my brother.
Heaven give thee moving graces.
Condemn the fault, and not the actor of it. Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function to find the faults whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor.
Oh, just, but severe law. I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honour.
Give not also to him again, entreat him. Kneel down before him, hang upon his gown. You are too cold. If you should need a pin, you could not with more tame a tongue desire it. To him, I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might pardon him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you, if you would?
Look, what I cannot do, what I will not, that I cannot do.
But might you do it, and do the world no wrong, if so your heart would touch with that remorse as mine is to him?
He's sentenced, 'tis too late.
You are too cold.
Too late? Why, no. I that do speak a word may call it again. Well, believe this, no ceremony, that to great ones longs, not the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe, become them with one half so good a grace as mercy does. If he had been as you, and you as he, you would have slipped like him, but he, like you, would not have been so stern.
Pray you, be gone.
I would to heaven I had your potency, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No. I would tell what 'twere to be a judge, and what a prisoner.
I touch him, there's the vein.
Brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Alas, alas! Why, all the souls that were forfeit ones, and he that might the vantage best have took found out the remedy. How would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge you as you are? Oh, think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man new made.
Content, fair maid, it is the law, not I, condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, that's sudden. Spare him. Spare him. He's not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens we kill the fowl of season. Shall we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister to our gross selves? Good, my lord, bethink you. Who is it that hath died for this offence? Yes, many have committed it.
Aye, well said.
The law hath not been a dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do that evil, if the first that did the edict infringe had answered for his deed. Now 'tis awake, take note of what is done.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice. Your brother dies tomorrow, be content.
So you must be the first that gives this sentence, and he that suffers? Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
That's well said.
Could great men thunder as Jove himself does, Jove would never be quiet, for every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder. Nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt splits the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft myrtle. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as makes the angels weep, who with our spleens would all themselves laugh mortal.
Oh, to him, wench. He will relent. He's coming, I perceive it.
Pray heaven she win him.
We cannot weigh our brother with ourself. Great men may jest with saints, 'tis wit in them, but in the less foul profanation.
Thou art in the right, girl, more of that.
That's in the captain's, but a choleric word, that which in the soldier is flat blasphemy.
Art advised of that? More on't.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because authority, though it err like others, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself that skins the vice o' top. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault. If it confess a natural guiltiness, such as is his, let it not sound a thought upon your tongue against my brother's life.
She speaks, and 'tis such sense that my sense breathes with it. Fare you well.
Gentle, my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me. Come again tomorrow.
How I'll bribe you. Good my lord, turn back.
Bribe me?
I, with such gifts that heaven shall share with you.
You had marred all else.
Not with fond sickles of the tested gold or stones, whose rate are either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with true prayers that shall be up at heaven and enter there ere sunrise.
Well, come to me tomorrow.
Do, 'tis well away.
Heaven keep your honour safe.
Amen. For I am that way going to temptation where prayers cross.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
At any time for noon.
Save your honour.
From thee, even from thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted, who sins most? Huh? Not she. Nor doth she tempt, but it is I that, lying like the violet by the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower, corrupt with virtuous season. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than woman's likeness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Oh, fly, fly. What dost thou, or what art thou, Angela? Dost thou desire her foully for those things that make her good? Oh, let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What, do I love her that I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? What is to dream on? Oh, cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints does bait the hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. Never could the strumpet, with all her double vigour, art, and nature, once stir my temper. But this virtuous maid subdues me quite. Ever till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered
Hail to you, Provost. So I think you are?
I am the Provost. What's your will, good friar?
Bound by my charity and my blessed order, I come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common right to let me see them and to make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly.
I would do more than that, if more were needful. Look, here comes one. A gentlewoman of mine, who, falling in the floors of her own youth, hath blistered her report. She is with child, and he that got it, sentenced. A young man more fit to do another such offence than die for this.
When must he die?
As I do think tomorrow.
Repent you, fair one, of the sin you carry?
I do, and bear the shame most patiently.
I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience and try your penitence, if it be sound or hollowly put on.
I'll gladly learn.
Love you the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
So then it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed?
Mutually.
And was your sin of heavier kind than his?
I do confess it, and repent it, father.
'Tis meet so, daughter, but at least you do repent, as that the sin hath brought you to this shame.
I do repent me, as it is an evil, and take this shame with joy.
There rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow. I am going with instruction to him. Grace, go with you. Benedicite.
Must die tomorrow. Oh, injurious love that respites me alive, whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
Pray and think. I think and pray to several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabel. Heaven in my mouth, as if I did but only chew his name, and in my heart the strong and swelling evil of my conception. The state wherein I studied is like a good thing being often read, grown feared and tedious. Yea, my gravity, wherein let no man hear me, I take pride. Could I, with boot, change for an idle plume which the air beats for vain? Oh, place, form! How often dost thou with thy case, thy habit, wrench ore from fools, and tie the wiser souls to thy false seeming? Blood, thou art blood! Let's write, good angel, on the devil's horn. 'Tis not the devil's crest. How now? Who's there?
One Isabel, sister, desires access to you.
Show the way. Why does my blood thus muster to my heart, making it both unable for itself and dispossessing all my other parts? Oh, so play the foolish throngs with wondered swoons, come all to help him, and so stop the air by which he should revive. And even so, the general subject of a well-wished king quit their own part, and in obsequious fondness crowd to his presence, where their untaught love must needs appear offence. How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
You might know it would much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Even so. Heaven keep your honor.
Yet he may live a while, and it may be as long as you or I, yet he must die.
Under your sentence?
Yes.
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
These filthy vices, it were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit the saucy sweetness that do coin heaven's image in stamps that are forbid. It is all as easy falsely to take away a life true made as to put metal in restrained means to make a false one.
'Tis set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
Say you so? Then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather, that the most just law now took your brother's life, and to redeem him, give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that he hath stained?
Sir, believe this, I had rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul.
How say you?
Answer to this. I, now the voice of the recorded law, pronounce the sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be charity in sin to save this brother's life.
Please you to do it. I'll take it as a peril to my soul. It is no sin at all, but charity.
Pleased you to do it at peril of your soul were equal poise of sin and charity.
That I do beg his life, if it be sin, heaven let me bear it. If you granting of my suit, if that be sin, I'll make it my morn prayer to have it added to the faults of mine, and nothing of your answer.
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant or seem so crafty, and that's not good.
That be ignorant and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
That's wisdom wishes to appear most bright when it doth tax itself. But mark me, to be received more plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So.
And his offence is so, as it appears, accounted to the law upon that pay.
True.
Admit no other way to save his life, as I subscribe not that or any other, but in the loss of question, that you, his sister, finding yourself desired of such a person whose credit with the judge or own great place could fetch your brother from the manacles of legal building law, and that there were no earthly means to save him, but that either you must lay down the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else to let him suffer. What would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, were I under the terms of death, the impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed that longing have been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then you must your brother die.
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother died at once than that a sister, by redeeming him, should die forever.
You not then as cruel as the sentence that you have slandered so?
Ignominy in ransom and free pardon are of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing akin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, and rather proved the sliding of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Oh, pardon me, my lord. It oft falls out to have what we would have. We speak not what we mean. I something do excuse the thing I hate for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all frail.
Else let my brother die, if not a Federy, but only he, and succeed thy weakness.
Nay, women are frail too.
Aye, as the glasses where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms. Women, help heaven, men their creation mine, profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail, for we are soft, as our complexions are, and credulous to false prints.
I think you well, and from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no stronger than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words. Be that you are, that is a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed by all external words, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one, gentle my lord. Let me entreat you speak the former language.
Plainly conceive, I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me that he shall die for it.
He shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue hath a license in which seems a little fouler than it is to pluck on others.
Believe me on mine honour, my words express my purpose.
Little honour honor to be much believed and most pernicious purpose seeming. I will proclaim thee, Angelo. Look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art.
Will believe thee, Isabel. My unsoiled name, those dearness of my life, my vouch against you and my place in state will so your accusation overweigh that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I have begun. And now I give my sensual race the rein. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite, laid by all niceties and prolixious blushes that banish what they sue for. Redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body to my will, or else he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false, always true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this? Who would believe me? O perilous mouths that bear in them the one and self-same tongue, either of condemnation or proof. Bidding the law make curtsy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite to follow as it draws out to my brother. Though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honour, that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'll yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel lived chaste, and brother die. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest.
So then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo?
The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I have hope to live, and I'm prepared to die.
The absolute for death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep. A breath thou art, servile to all the skyey influences that dost this habitation where thou keep'st hourly afflict. Merely thou art death's fool, for him thou labourest by thy flight to shun, and yet run'st towards him still. What's yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet in this life I hid more thousand deaths. The death we fear makes these odds all even.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die, and seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What ho? Peace here, grace and good company.
Who's there? Come in, the wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again.
Most holy sir, I thank you.
My business is a word or two with Claudio.
And very welcome. Look, Signor, here's your sister.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring them to hear me speak where I may be concealed.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, Most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, what you shall be an everlasting lieger. Therefore, your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None, but such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that will free your life but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Aye, just perpetual durance, a restraint through all the world's vastidity you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you, consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point!
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverous life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense in death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in my arms.
Thus spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy whose settled visage and deliberate word dips youth in the head, and follies doth immue as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear a pond as deep as hell.
The frenzy? Angelo?
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damner's body to invest and cover in frenzy guards. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be free?
Oh, heavens. Oh, it cannot be.
Yes, he would give thee from this rank offence so to offend him still. This night's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow?
Yes. Hath he affections in him that thus can make him bite the hoe by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the deadly 7 it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be perdurable fined? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life a hateful.
Aye, but to die, and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction and to rot, this sensible warm motion to become a kneaded clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery flood, or to reside in thrilling region of thick-ribbed eyes, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world. Oh, to be worse and worse. Oh, that lowliness and uncertain thought imagine how it is so horrible. Oh, the weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, hardly imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas.
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? It's not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame. What should I think? Heaven shield my mother, played my father fair, for such a warp and slip of wilderness ne'er issued from his blood. Take my defiance, die, perish! But my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed. I pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, not a word to save thee.
They hear me, Isabel.
Oh, fie, fie, fie! Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself abhorred. 'Tis best that thou diest quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella.
Say from young sister, but one word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure? I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend you a while.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her, only he hath made an assay of her virtue to practice his judgment with the disposition of nature. She, having the truth of honour in her, hath made him that gracious denial which he is most glad to receive. I am confessor to Angelo, and I know this to be true. Therefore, prepare yourself to death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees. Make ready.
Let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will soon to be rid of it.
Hold you there. Farewell. Come hither, Isabel. The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The goodness that is cheap in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to my understanding. How will you do to content this substitute and to save your brother?
I am now going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son should be unlawfully born. But, oh, how much is the good Duke deceived in Angelo? If he ever return and I can speak to him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss. Yet as the matter now stands, he will avoid your accusation. He made trial of you only. Therefore, fasten your ear on my advisings. The remedy presents itself.
Let me hear you speak, Father. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name.
She should this Angelo have married, as affianced to her oath and the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wracked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her in her tears, and dried not one of them with his comfort. Swallowed his vows whole, pretending in her discoveries of dishonour. In few, bestowed her on her own lamentation, which yet she wears for his sake.
But how out of this can she avail?
It is a rupture that you may easily heal, and the cure of it not only saves your brother, but keeps you from dishonour in doing it.
Show me how, good father.
This forenamed maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. His unjust unkindness, that in all reason should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment in the current, made it more violent and unruly. Go you to Angelo. Answer his requiring with a plausible obedience, agree with his demands to the point, only refer yourself to this advantage first, that your stay with him may not be long, that the time may have all shadow and silence in it, and the place answer to convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all. Me shall advise this wronged maid to steed up your appointment, go in your place. If the encounter acknowledge itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And here, by this is your brother saved, your honour untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I frame and make fit for his attempt. If you think well to carry this, as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
It lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angelo. If for this night he entreat you to his bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I will presently to St. Luke's. There at the moated grange resides this dejected Mariana. At that place, call upon me and dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.
Nay, if there be no remedy for it, but that you will needs buy and sell men and women like beasts, trading on them like a merry usurer, you must before the justices and all justice.
Oh, heavens, what stuff is here?
'Twas never merry world since of two usuries the merriest was put down and the worser allowed by order of law.
Come your way, sir. May the force be with you. Bless you, good Father Friar.
And you, good brother father, what offence hath this man made you, sir?
Marry, sir, he hath offended the law, and, sir, we take him to be a thief too, sir, for we have found upon him, sir, a strange picklock, which we have sent to the deputy.
Fie, sirrah, a pimp, a wicked bawd. The evil that thou causest to be done is thy means to live. Do thou but think what 'tis to cram a maw or clothe a back with such a filthy vice. Say to thyself, from their abominable and beastly touches I drink, I eat away myself and live. Canst thou believe thy living as a life so stinkingly depending? Go mend, go mend.
Indeed, it do stink in some sort, sir. But yet, sir, I would prove.
Nay, if the devil hath given thee proofs for sin, thou wilt prove his. Take him to prison, officer.
He must before the deputy, sir. He has given him warning.
Oh, ask for comfort. I cry bail. Here's a gentleman and a friend of mine.
How now, noble Pompey? Going to prison, Pompey?
Yes, faith, sir.
For debt, Pompey, or how?
For being a pimp, sir.
Well then, imprisonment.
A pimp.
Imprisonment be the due of a pimp, why 'tis his right. Pimp is he doubtless, and of antiquity too. Farewell, good Pompey. Commend me to the prison, Pompey.
I hope, sir, your good worship will be my bail.
No, indeed will I not, Pompey. Adieu, trusty Pompey. Bless you, friar.
And you.
Come your ways, sir, come.
You will not be my bail then, sir?
Then, Pompey, nor now. What news abroad, friar? What news?
Come your ways, sir, come.
Go to kennel.
Go to kennel, Pompey, go. What news, Friar of the Duke?
I know none. Can you tell me of any?
Some say he is with the Emperor of Russia. Others some he is in Rome, but where is he, think you?
I know not where, but wheresoever, I wish him well.
Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence. He puts transgression to it.
He does well in't.
A little more lenity to lechery would do no harm in him. Something too crabbed that way, Friar.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure it.
Yes, in good sooth, the vice is of a great kindred. It is well allied, but it is impossible to extirpate quite, Friar, till eating and drinking be put down. They say this Angelo was not made by man and woman after the downright way of creation. Is it true, think you?
How should he be made, then?
Some report a sea maid spawned him. Some that he was begot between two stockfishes, but it is certain that when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. That I know to be true.
You are pleasant, sir, and speak apace.
Why, what a ruthless thing is this in him for the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man. Would the Duke that is absent have done this? He had some feeling of the sport, he knew the service, and that instructed him to mercy.
I never heard the absent Duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Oh, sir, you are deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Who, not the Duke? Yes, your beggar of 50. He would be drunk too, let that me inform you.
You do him wrong, surely.
Sir, I was an inward of his. A shy fellow was the Duke, but this can I let you understand. The greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise.
Wise? Why, no question but he was.
A very superficial, ignorant, unweighing fellow.
Either this is envy in you, folly, or mistaking, and the very stream of his life, and the business he hath helmed must, upon a warranted need, give him a better proclamation. A scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. Therefore you speak unskilfully, or if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your malice.
Sir, I know him and I love him.
And love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dear love.
Come, sir, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since you know not what you speak. But if ever the Duke return, as our prayers are, he may, and let me desire you to make your answer before him. If it be honest you have spoke, you have courage to maintain it. I am bound to call upon you. And I pray you, your name.
Sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke.
He shall know you better, sir, if I may live to report you.
I fear you not.
Oh, you hope the Duke will return no more. You'll forswear this again?
I'll be hanged first. Thou art deceived in me, Friar. But no more of this. Canst thou tell if Claudio die tomorrow or no?
Why should he die, sir?
Why? For failing to maintain the required social distance twixt him and his lady fair. I would the Duke we talk of were returned again. This ungenitured agent will unpeople the province with continency. Sparrows must not build in his house eaves because they are lecherous. The Duke yet would have dark deeds darkly answered. He would never bring them to light, would he were returned. Farewell, good friar. I prithee pray for me. The Duke, I say to thee again, he's now past it, yet, and I say, he would mouth with a beggar, and she smelt brown bread and garlic. Say that I said so. Farewell.
No might nor greatness in mortality can Cenci escape. Back wounding calumny the whitest virtue strikes. But who comes here? But who comes here?
Aeschylus, unmute.
No, away with her to prison.
Good my lord, be good to me. Your honour is accounted a merciful man. Good my lord.
Double and treble admonition, and still forfeit in the same kind? This would make mercy swear and play the tyrant.
Pimp of 11 years continuance, may it please your honour.
My lord, This is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepdown was with child by him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. His child is a year and a quarter come Labour Day. I've raised it myself and see how he go about to abuse me.
That fellow is a fellow of much licence. Let him be called before us. Away with her to prison. Go to. No more words. Provost, my brother Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him be furnished with divines and have all charitable preparation. If my brother wrought by my pity, it should not be so with him.
So please you, this friar hath been with him and advised him for the entertainment of death.
Good even, good father.
This and goodness on you.
Of whence are you?
Not of this country, though my chance is now to use it for my time. I am a brother of gracious order, late come from the sea, in special business from his holiness.
And what news abroad i' the world?
None, but that there is so great a fever on goodness that the dissolution of it must cure it. I pray you, sir, of what disposition was the Duke?
One that above all other strifes contended especially to know himself.
What pleasure was he given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another merry than merry at anything which professed to make him rejoice. A gentleman of all temperance. But let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I am made to understand that you have lent him visitation.
He most willingly humbles himself to the determination of justice. Yet had he framed to himself, by the instruction of his frailty, many deceiving promises of life, which I, by my good leisure, have discredited to him, and now he is resolved to die.
You have paid the heavens your function, and the prisoner the very debt of your calling. I have laboured for the poor gentleman, to the extreme assure of my modesty, but my brother Justice have I found so severe, that he hath forced me to tell him he is indeed Justice. I am going to visit the prisoner. Fare you well.
Peace be with you. He who the sword of heaven will bear should be as holy as severe. Pattern in himself to know, grace to stand, and virtue go. More nor less to others paying than by self-offences weighing. Shame to him whose cruel striking kills for faults of his own liking. Twice treble shame on Angelo, for weed my vice and let his grow. For what may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side?
What indeed. Thank you very much to the cast for a really rousing first half. Wow, well done. Let it never be said that performance is any less exciting or indeed dangerous in many respects on the internet than it is in an actual theatre. So we are taking a 5-minute break now. If you amongst yourselves in the audience and in the cast would like to go and refresh yourselves, make a cup of tea or get yourself a glass of something refreshing, then that's fine. I'm just going to chat here for you with you guys, give you some news about upcoming projects and so forth, and see if you've noticed anything about today's play. There's always a decision that has to be made when working with Shakespeare, in that there are bits of every Shakespeare play which were written at the time because they were topical. They had some sort of comment on something that was going on at the time, a great figure, a piece of news, a scandal, something that was going on. And it's always a decision, and it's usually my decision, although I do take input from the company because it's my job mostly to prepare our scripts. It's always my decision to sort of think, okay, do I keep this as it was written and preserve the sort of purity of Shakespeare, or do I take it in the spirit that it was written? And do I update it? Do I make it a reference to something that'll speak more directly to the audience that are going to hear it on the 31st of May in 2020? It was written to speak to the audience of its own time. Should it be rewritten to speak to the audience that's going to hear it today? And with this particular play, because so much of it was, well, it is politically motivated, that actually I took the decision to make a few changes. And I wonder if you spotted any. I can't take any credit for Constable Elbow's Star Wars gag on meeting the Friar. That actually caught me out almost as much as I think it caught everyone else. May the Force indeed be with the Duke, as in his monk's disguise. But we are
terribly sorry.
No, please don't be sorry. I enjoyed it. It's just that it was a surprise. This is when you have clever actors who have good ideas. It's actually wonderful. It's just, it means that I'm in as much trouble as they are when it happens. I snuck in the last scene. There was a mention of social distancing, and which I used as a parallel rather than the reference that was written in the actual text was, well, it was a challenge to understand. So I updated. See if you can spot some. There's a few coming up in the second half. So just to update you, because here we are at the end of May. Lockdown is, of course, loosening up a little bit now, but we're staying with this every Sunday routine for at least for the rest of June, potentially the rest of July, and you'll probably have us with you in the summer. Just to let you know, if you'd like to check your diaries, on Sunday, 7th of June, we are going to be presenting some scenes again. So we'll be back at 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, presenting 2 different programs of individual scenes from different plays. On the 14th, we've got a bit of a special one on, because we're going to be presenting As You Like It, but this is another joint production. As previously we did Merry Wives of Windsor with Opsfest over in America, we are teaming up with a Manchester-based company called Cream-Faced Loons, and we will be doing As You Like It with them in a couple of weeks' time, which is going to be a great adventure and a big laugh for all of us. So please do join us for that. Then on the 21st, on Midsummer's weekend, what play do you stage, if not Midsummer Night's Dream? This is going to be another brand new one for us. We will be preparing it over the next couple of weeks. The play itself is basically done. The parts are sent out. It's going to have a test reading on Tuesday night. But this is an adventure for me, partly because this is the first play I have not edited at all. We're doing every single word as written in the first folio. So it's going to be a huge cast. We're going to get all the company involved. It should be a giggle. And then on Sunday the 28th, going to the end of June, we will again be presenting scenes. If you stay with us into July, plays that we have in preparation include Richard III, as voted for in our Twitter poll, and Troilus and Cressida, when I can get to it, and so forth. We're going to keep on rolling because there's just too much fun and exploration to be had here. So I think I've talked for nearly 5 minutes already. So if I can get the cast to sort of regather themselves in the Tiring House, just to give a quick recap on the story so far. So the city of Vienna is experiencing a return of law under the hand of the Duke's deputy, the Lord Angelo. And condemned to die under a law regarding fornication is young Claudio. His sister Isabella, who is a postulant nun, went to plead for his life with Lord Angelo, and it's a debatable success because she was offered the opportunity to save her brother's life, but at the price of her own virginity. So who had ever thought that those in power would count one set of rules for themselves and another set of rules for the others? Yeah, I've never heard of that happening before. So we'll see how things are going out. However, the Duke has a plan concerning the Lady Mariana, who we're now going to go and meet for the first time in the play. Mariana, who was previously engaged to Angelo, and the Duke has a little trick up his sleeve to try and bring the story to a happy conclusion. So we're going to return to the city of Vienna, and we're going to be meeting the Lady Mariana, who will be engaged in a little quiet, soulful musical interlude before the full glory of this plan breaks upon her. So Actors, if you will prepare yourselves from the tiring house. There's my lovely lady Mariana, all the way over in America. Lovely to see you, Mariana. And your beautiful musical boy all ready to go. So, ladies, in your own time, as soon as I vanish, take on the second half.
Take, oh, take those lips away that so sweetly were forsworn, and those eyes, the break of day, lights that do mislead the moon. But my kisses bring again seals of love, but sealed in pain.
Break off thy song and haste thee quick away. I cry you mercy, sir, and well could wish you had not found me here so musical. Let me excuse me, and believe me so. My mirth it much displeased, but pleased my woe.
'Tis good, though music oft have such a charm to make bad good and good provoke to harm. I pray you tell me, hath anybody inquired for me here today?
You have not been inquired after. I have sat here all day.
I do constantly believe you. The time is come, even now. I shall crave your forbearance a little. Maybe I will call upon you anon for some advantage to yourself.
I am always bound to you.
Very well met, and well come. What is the news, Miss Good Deputy?
He hath a garden, circummured with brick, whose western side is with a vineyard backed, and to that vineyard is a planched gate that makes his opening with this bigger key. And this other doth command a little door, which from the vineyard to the garden leads, and there have I made my promise upon the heavy middle of the night to call upon him.
But shall you, on your knowledge, find this way?
I have ta'en a due and wary note upon it, with whispering and most guilty diligence in action of all precept. He did show me the way twice o'er.
Are there no other tokens between you agreed?
No, none, but only a repaireth dark, and that I have possessed him, my most day can be but brief, for I have made him know I have a servant comes with me along, that stays upon me, whose persuasion is, I come about my brother.
It is well borne up. I have not yet made known to Mariana a word of this. Well, ho, within, come forth. I pray you, be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the like.
Do you persuade yourself that I respect you?
Good friar, I know you do, and have found it so.
Take then this, your companion, by the hand, who have a story ready for your ear. I shall attend your leisure, but make haste. The vaporous night approaches.
Wilt please you walk aside?
Her place and greatness. Millions of false eyes are stuck upon thee. Volumes of report run with these false and most contrarious quest upon thy doings. 1,000 escapes of wit make thee the father of their idle dream, and rack thee in their fancies. Welcome. How agreed?
She'll take the enterprise upon her, father, if you advise it.
It is not my consent, and my entreaty too.
Little have you to say when you depart from him, but soft and low. Remember now, my brother.
Fear me not.
Nor, gentle daughter, fear you Not at all. He is your husband on a pre-contract. Bring you thus together, 'tis no sin. Sith that the justice of your title to him doth flourish the deceit. Come, let's go. Our corns to reap, for yet our tithes to sow.
Come hither, Sarah. Can you cut off a man's head?
If the man be a bachelor, sir, I can. But if he be a married man, he's his wife's head, and I can never cut off a woman's head.
Come, sir, leave me your snatches and yield me a direct answer. Tomorrow morning are to die Claudio and Barnardine. Here is in our prison a common executioner who in his office lacks a helper. If you'll take it on you to assist him, it shall redeem you from your sentence. If not, you shall have your full time of imprisonment and your deliverance with an unpitied whipping, for you have been a notorious pimp.
Sir, I have been an unlawful pimp, time out of mind, but yet I will be content to be a lawful hangman.
What, ho, a porson? Where's a porson there?
Just our call. Do call. Sup? You calls up?
Sirrah, here's a fellow will help you tomorrow in your execution. He cannot plead his estimation with you. He hath been a pimp.
Pimp, sir? Fire upon him. It will discredit our mystery.
Go to, sir. You weigh equally. A feather will turn the scale.
Pray, sir, by your good favour. Well, truly, sir, a good favour you have. But do you have a hanging look? Do you call, sir, your occupation a mystery?
Aye, sir, a mystery.
Painting, sir, I have heard say, is a mystery. And your whores, sir, being members of my occupation, using painting do prove my occupation a mystery. But what mystery there should be in hanging, if I should be hanged, I cannot imagine.
Sir, it is a mystery.
Are you agreed?
Sir, I will serve him, for I do find your hangman a more penitent trade than your pimp. I mean, unlike me and the government, he doth more often ask forgiveness.
You, Sarah, provide your block and axe tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
Come on, Master Pink. I will instruct thee in my trade. Follow.
I do desire to learn, sir, and I hope if you have occasion to use me for your own turn, you will find me as you are. But truly, sir, for your kindness, I owe you a good turn.
Look, here's the warrant, Claudio. For thy death, 'tis now midnight, and by 8 tomorrow thou must be made immortal. Where's Barnardine?
As fast locked up in sleep as guiltless labour when it lies starkly in the traveller's bones. He will not wake.
Oh, who can do good on him? Well, go, prepare yourself. But hark, what noise? Heaven give your spirits comfort. By and by, I hope it is some pardon or reprieve for the most gentle Claudio. Welcome, Father.
The best and wholesomest spirits of the night envelop you, good Provost. Who called here of late?
None since the curfew rung.
Not Isabel?
No.
They will then be long.
What comfort is for Claudio?
Have you no countermand for Claudio yet?
None, sir. None.
As near the dawning, Provost, as it is, you shall hear more ere morning.
Happily you something know. Yet I believe there comes no countermand.
This is his lord's man.
And here comes Claudio's pardon.
My lord has sent you this note, and by me this further charge, that you swear not from the smallest article of it, neither in time, matter, or other circumstance. Good morrow, for as I take it, it is almost day.
I shall obey him.
This is his pardon purchased by such sin for which the pardoner himself is in. Now, sir, what news?
I told you, Lord Angelo be like thinking me remiss in mine office, awakens me with this unwanted putting on. Methinks strangely that he hath not used it before.
Pray you, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine. For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent me by 5. Let this be duly performed with a thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office, as you will answer it at your peril. What say you to this, sir?
What is that Barnardine who is to be executed in the afternoon?
A Bohemian born, but here nursed up and bred, one that is a prisoner 9 years old.
How came it that the absent Duke had not either delivered him to his liberty or executed him? I have heard it was ever his manner to do so.
His friend still wrought reprieves for him.
Hath he borne himself penitently in prison? How seems he to be touched?
A man that apprehends death no more dreadfully but as a drunken sleep.
He wants advice.
He will hear none. Drunk many times a day, if not many days entirely drunk.
More of him anon. There is written in your brow, Provost, honesty and constancy. You are to do me both a present and a dangerous courtesy.
Pray, sir, in what?
In delaying the death.
Alack, how may I do it? Having the hour limited and an express command under penalty to deliver his head in the view of Angelo, I may make my cause as Claudio's to cross this in the smallest.
By the vow of mine order, I warrant you, if my instructions may be your guide, let this Barnardine be this morning executed and his head borne to Angelo.
Angelo hath seen them both and will discover the favour.
Death's a great disguiser, and you may add to it. Shave the head and tie the beard, and say it was the desire of the penitent to be so barred before his death. You know the course is common.
Pardon me, good father, it is against my oath.
Were you sworn to the Duke or to the deputy?
To him and to his substitutes.
You will think you have made no offence if the Duke avouch the justice of your dealing?
But what likelihood is in that?
A certainty. And since I see you fearful that neither my coat, integrity, nor persuasion can with ease attempt you, I will go further than I meant. Look you, sir, here is the hand and seal of the Duke. You know the character, I doubt not, and the signet is not strange to you.
Oh, I know them both.
The contents of this is the return of the Duke. You shall anon overread it at your pleasure, where you shall find within these 2 days he will be here. Call your executioner and off with Barnardine's head. Yet you are amazed. For this shall absolutely resolve you. Come, away. It is almost clear dawn.
I am as well acquainted here as I was in our house of profession. So first, here's young Mr. Quilted. He's in here for a commodity of toilet paper, filling up his garage. An old Del Boy, the home-brewed and Sandman, on which he made £5 grand ready cash. Oh, then this here is one Mr. Boombox at the suite of Master Earworm, his neighbour, for playing that music too loud again. We shall shortly be receiving visitors aplenty, I'm sure, who've passed through a friend's house to socialise at due social distance in the garden, but then fallen foul on a forbidden trip to the privy. Oh, then that is one Mr. Cummings and Goings, an exceptional adviser politic who, fearing for his eyesight, undertook an arduous journey with a poorly youth for to spew contagion unto the lower masses, such as ourselves. He's a hidden in a mire for his own safety. Oh, and over there is yon debtors' jail, newly extended and shortly awaiting many a one of the renters and crack fall-throughers. Indeed, there is a lot of money to be made off of debt and poor people. And here we have as happy a prison as ever could be,
Sirrah, bring Barnardine hither.
Mr. Barnardine? Oh, I thought 'twas Mr. Johnson. Oh well, you must rise and be hanged, Mr. Barnardine.
What hope, Barnardine? What hope?
Box of your throats! What makes you lie there? Why are you?
Your friend, sir, the hangman. You must be so good, sir, to rise and be put to death.
Away, rogue! Away, I'm sleepy.
Tell him he must awake, and that quickly too.
Oh, pray, Mr. Barnardine, awake till you are executed, and sleep afterwards.
Go into him and fetch him out.
He's coming, sir, he's coming. Look, I can hear his straw rustle.
Is the axe upon the block, sirrah?
Very ready, sir.
Hello, Borson. What are the news with you?
Truly, sir, I would desire you to clap into your prayers. For look you, the warrant's come.
You rogue. I've been drinking all night. I am not fitted for it.
Oh, the better, sir. For he that drinks all night and is hanged betimes in the morning may sleep the sounder the next day.
Look you, sir, here comes your ghostly father. Do we jest now, think you? Huh?
Sir, induced by my charity, and hearing how hastily you are to depart, I am come to advise you, comfort you, and pray with you.
Right? No, I've been drinking hard that night, and I will have more time to prepare me, or shall be all my brains with billets. I will not consent to die this day, thus certain.
Oh, sir, you must. And therefore I beseech you, look forward on the journey you shall go.
I swear I will not die today for any man's persuasion.
But hear you.
No, not some words. If you have anything to say to me, come to my ward. For thence will I not today.
Fit to live or die, O gravel heart. After him, fellows, bring him to the block.
Now, sir, how do you find the prisoner?
A creature unprepared, unmeet for death, and to transport him in the mind he is were damnable.
Here in the prison, Father, there died this morning of a cruel fever one Ragozine, most notorious pirate, a man of Claudio's years, his beard and head just of his colour. What if we do omit this reprobate till he were well inclined, and satisfy the deputy with the visage of Ragozine, more like to Claudio?
Oh, it is an accident that heaven provides. Dispatch it presently. The hour draws on, prefixed by Angelo. See this be done, and sent according to command, whilst I persuade this rude wretch willingly to die.
This shall be done, good father, presently. But Barnardine must die this afternoon. How shall we continue Claudio to save me from the danger that might come if he were known alive?
Let this be done. Put them in secret holds, both Barnardine and Claudio. Ere twice the sun hath made his journal greeting to yon generation, you shall find your safety manifested.
I am your free dependent.
Quick, dispatch, and send the head to Angelo. Now, will I write letters to Angelo, the provost he shall bear them, whose contents shall witness to him I am near at home. And by the great injunctions I am bound to enter publicly. We shall proceed with Angelo.
Peace ho, be here.
Good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter.
The better given me by so holy a man. Hath yet the deputy sent my brother's pardon?
He hath released him, Isabel, from the world. His head is off and sent to Angelo.
Nay, it is not so.
It is no other. Show your wisdom, daughter, in your close patience.
Oh, I will to him and pluck out his eyes.
And shall not be admitted.
Unhappy Claudia, wretched Isabel, injurious one, most damned Angelo!
This nor hurts him, nor profits you a jot. Forbear it, therefore. Give your cause to heaven. Mark what I say, which you shall find by every syllable a faithful verity. The Duke comes home tomorrow. Nay, dry your eyes.
I am directed by you.
Who's here?
Good evening. Friar, where's the provost?
Not within, sir.
Oh, pretty Isabella, I am pale at mine heart to see thine eyes so red. Thou must be patient. By my troth, Isabel, I loved thy brother. If the old fantastical Duke of Dark Corners had been at home, he had lived.
Sir, the Duke is marvellous little beholding to your reports. But the best is, he lives not in them.
Friar, thou knowest not the Duke so well as I do.
Well, you'll answer this one day. Fare ye well.
Nay, tarry, I'll go along with thee. I can tell thee pretty tales of the Duke.
You have told me too many of him already, sir, if they be true. If not true, none were enough.
I was once before him, forgetting a wench with child.
Did you such a thing?
Yes, married did I, but I was fain to forswear it. They would else have married me to the rotten apple.
Sir, rest you well.
By my troth, I'll go with thee to the lane's end. If bawdy talk offend you, we'll have very little of it. Nay, friar, I am a kind of burr. I shall stick.
Every letter he hath writ hath dispatched other.
In most uneven and distracted manner, his actions show most like to madness. Pray heaven his wisdom be not tainted. And why meet him at the gate and deliver our authorities there?
I guess not.
And why should we proclaim it through, in an hour before his entering, that if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the street?
He shows his reason for that, to have a dispatch of complaints, and to deliver us from devices hereafter, which shall then have no power to stand against us.
Well, I beseech you, let it be proclaimed betimes of the morn.
I shall, sir. Fare you well.
Good night. This deed unshakes me quite, makes me unpregnant, and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid by an eminent body that enforced the law against it, but that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss. How might she tell me? Yet reason dares her, no, for my authority bears of a credent bulk that no particular scandal once can touch, but it confounds the breather. He should have lived. Think that his riotous youth with dangerous sense might in the times to come have ta'en revenge by so receiving a dishonoured life with ransom of such shame. But yet he had lived. Alack, when once our grace we have got, nothing goes right. We would, and we would not.
To speak so indirectly, I am loath. I would say the truth, but to accuse him so, that is your part. Yet I am advised to do it. He says, to veil full purpose.
Be ruled by him.
Come, I have found you out a stand most fit, where you may have such vantage on the Duke, he shall not pass you. Therefore, hence away.
My very worthy cousin, fairly met, our old and faithful friend. We are glad to see you.
Happy return be to your royal grace.
Many and hearty thankings to you both. We have made inquiry of you, and we hear such goodness of your justice that our soul cannot but yield you forth to public thanks for running more requital.
Make my bonds still greater.
Oh, your desert speaks loud. I should wrong it to look it in the wards of covert bosom when it deserves with characters of brass a fortified residence against the tooths of time and the razier of oblivion. Give me your hand.
Now is your time. Speak loud and kneel before him.
Now is your time. Speak loud and kneel before him.
Justice, Royal Duke, fail your regard upon a wronged, I would fain have said a maid, O worthy prince. Dishonour not your eye by throwing it on any other object till you have heard me in my true complaint and given me justice, 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 justice.
Relate your wrongs. In what? By whom? Be brief. Here is Lord Angelo shall give you justice. Reveal yourself to him.
O worthy Duke, you bid me seek redemption of the devil. Hear me yourself, for that which I must speak must either punish me, not being believed, or wring redress from you. Hear me, oh, hear me, hear.
My lord, her wits I fear me are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother, cut off by course of justice.
By course of justice?
She will speak most bitterly and strange.
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
Most strange, but yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer, is it not strange? That Angelo is an adulterous thief, an hypocrite, a virgin violator, is it not strange? And strange.
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
It is not truer he is Angelo than this is all as true as it is strange.
Away with her. Poor soul, she speaks this in the infirmity of sense.
Oh, Prince, I conjure thee, as thou believest there is another comfort than this world, that thou neglect me not with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible that which but seems unlike. 'Tis not impossible, but one the wicked caitiff on the ground may seem as shy, as grave, as just, as absolute as Angelo. Even so may Angelo be an arch villain. Believe it, royal prince. If he be less, he be nothing. But he's more. Had I more name for badness.
I mind honesty, if she be mad, as I believe no other, her madness has the oddest frame of sense. Such a dependency of thing on thing as e'er I heard in madness.
Oh, gracious Duke, harp not on that. Nor do not banish reason for inequality, but let your reason serve to make the truth appear where it seems hid, and hide the false seems true.
Many that are not mad have sure more lack of reason. What would you say?
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head, condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother. One Lucio was then the messenger.
That's I, and like your grace.
You were not bid to speak.
No, my good lord, nor wished to hold my peace.
I wish you now then. Pray you take note of it. When you have a business for yourself, pray heaven you then be perfect.
I warrant, Your Honour.
Warrants for yourself. Take heed to it. Proceed.
I went to this pernicious caitiff deputy.
That's somewhat madly spoken.
Pardon it. The phrase is to the matter.
Mend it again. The matter. Proceed.
In brief, to set the needless process by, how I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled, how he repelled me and how I replied, for this was of much length. The veiled conclusion I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body to his concupiscible intemperate lust, release my brother. And after much debatement, my sisterly remorse confutes mine honor, and I did yield to him. But the next morn betimes, his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head.
This is most likely.
Oh, that it were as like as it is true.
By heaven, fond wretch, thou knowest not what thou speakst, or else thou art suborned against his honour in hateful practice. Someone hath set you on. Confess the truth, and say by whose advice thou camest here to complain.
And is this all? Then, oh, you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil which is here wrapped up in countenance. Heaven shield your grace from woe, as I thus wronged hence unbelieved go.
I know you'd fain be gone, provost, to prison with her. Shall we thus permit a blasting and a scandalous breath to fall on him so near us? This needs must be a practice. Who knew of your intent in coming hither?
One that I would were here, Father Ludovic.
Who knows that Ludovic?
My lord, I know him. 'Tis a meddling friar. I do not like the man. Had he been lay, my lord, for certain words he spake against your grace in your retirement, I had swinged him soundly.
Words against me? This a good friar belike, and to set on this wretched woman here against our substitute? Let this friar be found.
But yesternight, my lord, she and that friar, I saw them at the prison, a saucy friar, a very scurvy fellow.
Blessed be your royal grace. I have stood by. My lord and I have heard your royal ear abused. First hath this woman most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil with her as she from one ungot.
We did believe no less. Know you that Friar Lodovic that she speaks of?
I know him for a man divine and holy, not scurvy nor a temporary meddler, as he's reported by this gentleman, and on my trust, a man who never yet did, as he vouches, misreport your grace.
My lord, most villainously believe it.
Well, he in time may come to clear himself, but at this instant he is sick, my lord, of a strange fever. Upon his mere request being come to knowledge that there was complaint intended against Lord Angelo, came I as hither to speak as from his mouth. What he does know is true and false.
Good friar, let's hear it. Not you smile at this, Lord Angelo. Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Give us some seats. Come, cousin Angelo. In this, I'll be impartial. Be you judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, friar? First, let her show her face, and after, speak.
Pardon, my lord, I will not shew my face until my husband bid me.
Are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
A widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
Why, you are nothing, then. Neither maid, widow, nor wife.
My lord, I do confess I ne'er was married, and I confess besides I am no maid. I have known my husband, yet my husband knows not that ever he knew me.
He was drunk then, my lord, it can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, I would thou wert so too.
Well, my lord, well. Well, my lord.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Now I come to it, my lord. She that accuses him of fornication in self same manner doth accuse my husband, and charges him, my lord, with such a time when I'll depose I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
No, you say your husband?
Why, just, my lord, and that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that he ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks that he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me. Now I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou sworest was worth the looking on. This is the hand which with a vowed contract was fast belocked in thine. This is the body that took away the match from Isabel and did supply thee at thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman?
Carnally, she says.
Sirrah, no more.
Enough, my lord.
My lord, I must confess, I know this woman. And 5 years since, there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was broke off, since which time of 5 years I never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her upon my faith and honour.
Noble prince, as there comes light from heaven and words from breath, as there is sense in truth and truth in virtue, I am affianced this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows. And my good lord, but Tuesday night last gone, in his garden house he knew me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or else forever be confixed here a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor informal women are no more but instruments of some more mightier member that sets them on. Let me have way, my lord, to find this practice out.
Aye, with my heart, and punish them to the height of your pleasure. You, Lord Aeschylus, sit with my cousin. Lend him your kind pains to find out this abuse, whence 'tis derived. There is another friar that set them on. Let him be sent for.
Well, you were here, my lord, for indeed it was has set the woman on to this complaint. Your provost knows the place where he abides, and he may fetch him.
Go, do it instantly, and you, my noble and well-warranted cousin, whom it concerns to hear this matter forth, do with your injuries as seems you best in any chastisement. I for a while will leave you, but stir not you till you have well determined upon these slanderers.
My lord, we'll do it thoroughly. Signor Lucio, did not you say you knew that Friar Lodowick to be a dishonest person?
Honest in nothing but his clothes, and one that hath spoke most villainous speeches of the Duke.
Aeschylus, we shall entreat you.
We shall entreat you to abide here till he come, and enforce them against him. We shall find this friar a notable fellow.
As any in Vienna, on my word.
Call that same Isabel here once again. I would speak with her. Pray you, my lord, give me leave to question. You shall see how I'll handle her.
Not better than he, by her own report.
Say you?
Marry, sir, I think if you handled her privately, she would sooner confess. Perchance publicly she'll be ashamed.
I will go darkly to work with her.
That's the way, for women are light at midnight.
Come on, mistress. Here's a gentlewoman denies all that you have said.
My lord, here comes the rascal I spoke of, with the provost.
In very good time. Speak not you to him till we call upon you.
Dust.
Come, sir. Did you set these women on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did.
'Tis false.
How? Know you where you are?
Respect to your great place, and let the devil be sometime honoured for his burning throne. But where is the Duke? 'Tis he should hear me speak.
The Duke's in us, and we will hear you speak. Look you speak justly.
Boldly, at least. But oh, poor souls, come you to seek the lamb here of the fox. Good night to your redress. Is the Duke gone? Then is your cause gone too? The Duke's unjust thus to retort your manifest appeal and put your trial in the villain's mouth, which here you came to accuse.
This is the rascal, this is he I spoke of.
Why, thou unreverend and unhallowed friar, is not enough thou hast suborned these women to accuse this worthy man, but in foul mouth and in the witness of his proper care to call him villain, and then to glance from him to the Duke himself, to tax him with injustice? Take him hence, to the rack with him. We'll touse you, joint by joint, but we will know his purpose. What? Unjust?
Be not so hot. The Duke dare no more stretch this finger of mine than he dare rack his own. His subject am I not, nor here provincial. My business in this state made me a looker on here in Vienna, where I have seen corruption boil and bubble till it o'errun the tank.
Slander to the state. Away with him to prison.
What can you vouch against him, Signor Lucio? Is this the man that you did tell us of?
'Tis he, my lord. Come hither, Goodman Baldpate. Do you know me?
I remember you, sir, by the sound of your voice. I met you at the prison in the absence of the Duke.
Oh, did you so? And do you remember what you said of the Duke?
Most notedly, sir.
Do you so, sir? And was the Duke a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward, as you then reported him to be?
You must, sir, change persons with me ere you make that my report. You indeed spoke so of him, and more, much, much worse.
Oh, thou damnable fellow, did I not pluck thee by the nose for thy speeches?
I protest, I love the Duke, as I love myself.
How the villain would close now after his treasonable abuses.
Such a fellow is not to be talked withal. Away with him to prison.
Stay, sir. Stay a while.
What resists he? Help him, Lucio.
Come, sir, come, sir, come, sir. Oh, sir, why, you bald-pated, lying rascal. Oh, you must be hooded, must you? Show your knave's visage with a pox to you. Show your sheep-biting face and be hanged in an hour. Wilt not off?
My lord.
Thou art the first knave that e'er made the Duke. First provost, let me bail these gentle free. Sneak not away, sir, for the friar and you must have a word anon. Lay hold on him.
This may prove worse than hanging.
What you have spoke, I pardon. Sit you down. We'll borrow place of him, sir, by your leave. Hast thou, or word, or wit, or impudence that yet can do the office? If thou hast, Rely upon it till my tale be heard, and hold no longer out.
Oh, my dread lord, I should be guiltier than my guiltiness, to think I can be undiscernible when I perceive your grace, like power divine, hath looked upon my passes. Then, good prince, no longer session hold upon my shame, but let my trial be my own confession. Immediate sentence, then, and subsequent death is all the grace I beg.
Come hither, Mariana. Say, wast thou e'er contracted to this woman?
I was, my lord.
Go, take her hence and marry her instantly. Do you the office, friar, which consummate, return him here again. Go with him, provost.
My lord, I am more amazed at his dishonour than at the strangeness of it.
Come hither, Isabel. Your friar is now your prince, as I was then, advertising and wholly to your business, not changing heart with habit. I am still attorneyed at your service.
Oh, give me pardon that I, your vassal, have employed and pained your unknown sovereignty.
You are pardoned, Isabel. And now, dear maid, be you as free to us. This new married man approaching here, whose salt imagination yet hath wronged your well-defended honour, you must pardon for Mariana's sake. But as he adjudged your brother, being criminal in double violation of sacred chastity and of promise breach, thereon dependent for your brother's life, the very mercy of the law cries out most audible, even from his proper tongue. And Angelo for Claudia, death for death. Haste still pays haste, leisure answers leisure. Like doth quit like, and measure still for measure. Then, Angelo, thy faults thus manifested, which thou wouldst deny, denies thee vantage. We do condemn thee to the very block where Claudio stooped to death, and with like haste, away with him.
Oh, my most gracious lord, I hope you will not mock me with a husband.
It is your husband mocked you with a husband.
Oh,
consenting to the safeguard of your honour, I thought your marriage fit. Else imputation for that he knew you might reproach your life and choke your good to come. For his possessions, though by computation they are ours, we do instate and widow you withal, to buy you a better husband.
Oh, my dear lord, I crave no other nor no better man.
Never crave him. We are definitive.
Gentle my liege.
You do it loose your labour, away with him to death. Now, sir, to you.
Oh, my good lord, sweet Isabel, take my part. Lend me your knees, and all my life to come I'll lend you all my life to do you service.
Against all sense you do importune her. Should she kneel down in mercy of this fact, her brother's ghost, his paved bed would break and take her hence in horror.
Isabel, sweet Isabel, do yet but kneel with me. Hold up your hands, say nothing, I'll speak all. They say best men are molded out of faults, and for the most become much more the better for being a little bad. So may my husband. Oh, Isabel, will you not lend a knee?
He dies for Claudio's death.
Most bounteous sir, look, if it please you, on this man condemned, as if my brother lived. I partly think that due sincerity governed his deeds, till he did look on me. Since it is so, let him not die. My brother had but justice in that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, this act did not o'ertake his bad intent and must be buried, but as an intent that perished by the way. Thoughts are no subjects, intents, but merely thoughts.
Merely, my lord.
Your suit's unprofitable. Stand up, I say. I have bethought me of another fault. Provost, how came it Claudio was beheaded at an unusual hour?
It was commanded, sir.
Had you a special warrant for the deed?
No, my good lord. It was by private message.
For which I do discharge you of your office. Give up your keys.
Pardon me, noble lord. I thought it was a fault, but knew it not. Yet did repent me after more advice. For testimony whereof, one in the prison that should by private order else have died, I have reserved a lie.
What's he?
His name is Barnardine.
I would thou hadst done so by Claudio. Go fetch him hither. Let me look upon him.
I am sorry. One so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, have still appeared should slip so grossly, both in the heat of blood and lack of tempered judgment afterward.
I am sorry that such sorrow I procure, and so deep sticks it in my penitent heart that I crave death more willingly than mercy. 'Tis my deserving, and I do entreat it.
What muffled fellow's that?
This is another prisoner that I have saved, who should have died when Claudio lost his head, as like almost to Claudio as himself.
If he be like your brother, for his sake is he pardoned. And for your lovely sake, give me your hand and say you will be mine. He is my brother too. But fitter time for that. By this, Lord Angelo perceives he's safe. Methinks I see a quickening in his eye. Well, Angelo, your evil quits you well. Look that you love your wife. Her worth yours, I find an apt remission in myself. And yet here's in place what I cannot pardon. You, Sirrah, knew me for a fool, a coward, one all of luxury, an ass, a madman. Wherein have I so deserved of you that you extol me thus?
Faith, my lord, I spoke it but according to the trick. If you will hang me for it, you may, but I had rather it would please you I might be whipped.
Whipped first, sir, and hanged after. Proclaim it, provost, round about the city, if any woman wronged by this lewd fellow, as I have heard him swear himself as one whom he begot with child, let her appear, and he shall marry her. The nuptial finished, let him be whipped and hanged.
I beseech your highness, do not marry me to a whore.
Upon mine honour, thou shalt marry her. Thy slanders I forgive, and therewithal remit thy other forfeits. Take him to prison. See our pleasure herein executed.
Marrying a whore, my lord, is pressing to death, whipping and hanging.
Slandering a prince deserves it. She, Claudio, that you wronged, look you restore. Joy to you, Mariana. Love her, Angelo. I have confessed her, and I know her virtue. Thanks, good friend Aeschylus, for thy much goodness. There's more behind that is more gratulate. Thanks, Provost, for thy care and secrecy. We shall employ thee in a worthier place. Forgive him, Angelo, that brought you home the head of Ragozine for Claudio's. The offence pardons itself. Dear Isabel, I have a motion much imports your good. Whereto, if you'll a willing ear incline, what's mine is yours, and what is yours is mine. So bring us to our palace, where we'll show what's yet behind that meet you all should know.
And a round of applause to the whole company. Well done, all of you. Well done. A storming afternoon. Get your cameras back on. Come and give us a wave and a smile. Give yourselves a round of applause. Excellent, excellent work. Well done. I hope all the rest of you out there have enjoyed that as much as I did. I get a ringside seat. I hope we all had a good time. Thank you to those of you who carried that play so strongly. That was awesome. And I've got to give an extra thank you to Geraldine and to Susie and to Bridget, who took the smaller parts and held them up so strongly. That's awesome work. There's no such thing as a small part in Shakespeare. No such thing as a small character, for sure. Okay, so thank you all very much. We hope you have enjoyed Measure for Measure. We'll bring you back sometime, perhaps. Please enjoy the rest of your weekends. Have a good, happy, healthy, safe week. Keep yourselves and each other safe. Stay alert. We will be back next Sunday at 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock with some scenes. And until then, we wish you all very well. Farewell, everybody. See you soon. Thanks again, guys.
The springtime, da 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 da.